Hi guys, I am going to make a short little video of how I do my acrylic pours. This one isn't going to be on a canvas, it's just going to be on a piece of cardboard because I am going to be making ATCs out of it, artist trading cards, and I think it would be really cool to send one of my pours off as a trading card. So the colors that I chose are like a purple color, like a lime green color, a yellow, and a silver. And how I start my acrylic pours, I use Floetrol that you just get from Home Depot. You can't see it in the video because I'm not good at this, but you just use, a little bit of Floetrol. I don't really measure it. I just think of, how much. I always want my colors even, so I make them even throughout the cups. And depending on how big my canvas is, which this one really isn't that big. It's like, I don't really know. However many 9 ATCs are, that's how big it is. So you start off with your cups of Floetrol, and you just put some color into your cups. Pardon me. I have a lot of paint, but they're pretty much all empty. Except this one. This one's pretty full. So you just put some color in with your Floetrol. The Floetrol is used as like a paint thinner, basically. It makes your paint go longer, so you don't have to use as much paint. So just try to get enough yellow in here. Okay, that should be good. And silver. This one's a little thicker. I'm not going to use as much paint. So then you mix your colors in their cups. Until it looks just like the color that you put in there. Mix all the Floetrol up. I might actually have to use more silver because this is not working out too well. Well, the silver might be a little chunky because this silver is just not cooperating with me very well. So I'm going to put a different silver in that I don't have very much of. But I do have more than what was in the other one. It's going to be a little darker silver, but that's okay. Oh, actually it's not. That's good. So mix it up really well. You don't want to see any more white in your cup. I mean, you might see a little bit around the sides, but that's okay. The majority of it, though, make sure it's mixed up really well. So there's 2. Definitely makes your hands tired mixing all this so fast. And then the green. Hopefully I put enough in. Doesn't really seem like there's a lot in here, but I guess we'll find out. I'll make it work somehow. Okay, so once your paints are mixed well, you put a very few drops of silicone in each color. I use a treadmill belt silicone, and I put like 2 or 3 drops in each color. This makes the cells really pop out, and it makes it look super cool. So I always use silicone in my acrylic pours. And then you don't want to mix too much when you put the silicone in, just a couple little tiny slow stirs. And that's it. Now that you have your colors that you want, you take your 5th cup and you pour all your colors however you want to into the 5th cup. Normally I do like half of the colors and then I put, you know, in one layer, then I go again. But since I'm not using very much paint this time, I am not doing that. I'm just putting all the paint in there at once. So we'll see how this turns out with this chunky silver. It's probably not going to be a very good video. I might not even post this one, but we'll see. Oh yeah, I think I'll have plenty of paint. So once you get your last color in there, so the green is my last color. You can put your popsicle stick in there. You don't have to do this step, but I always do. Just give it like 2 baby swirls, and then that's it. And then you take your canvas, cardboard, whatever you're using, put it on top of your cup like this. Here's my cup of paint. Here's my canvas. Then you flip it over, put it back down, and then you just flip up your cup. And there it is. There is an acrylic pour. And then you just have to move your canvas around to get the paint moved around. And that's it. I'm not sure that I have enough paint, but I am gonna try. Now normally I will use a tiny little handheld torch to make more cells, to make bigger cells, but since I'm using cardboard this time and not canvas, I don't want to do that. I'm kind of afraid of setting the canvas, the cardboard on fire, which would not be good. Yeah, I definitely should have used more paint. But also, since this is cardboard, I didn't want to use as much paint because I'm afraid of the cardboard warping. Like, a canvas isn't going to warp because it's, you know, it's thick and heavy and it's made for paint. But this really isn't. Sorry that you can't really see it. Can't see it at all. But then again, in not having enough paint, it kind of makes cooler designs. Well, not cooler, but makes different designs. They're still pretty cool. And this isn't normally what it looks like. I didn't use enough paint, so not very many cells popped up. Let me take my gloves off and see if I can torch some cells into it without blowing the house down. This is normally how you would make cells. And yeah, not working out too much, but that's alright. And then you just get a paper towel to wipe your hands off. And anything else that you may have made a mess on. So that's basically how I do an acrylic pour. I'll try to do another video when I actually do a canvas and use enough paint so you can see the cells popping out. And you can kind of tell that there's all these chunks from that silver paint, but that's alright. Let's see if I can get them out, actually. That'd be even better. Yeah, I'll leave that big one in the middle. So that's basically it. You just use some Floetrol, some paint, some silicone, and a handheld blowtorch if you want. I already see this is starting to warp, but hopefully it won't warp too much where I can still use these as trading cards. If not, then maybe, I'm not sure. I'll figure something out. So, I hope you liked my little tiny pouring video, even though it was dark and you couldn't see very much of it. That's all, guys. Bye.